Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of Don Mom Live. Let me get that crispy audio for you real fast. It is Victory Monday, folks. It is Victory Monday. How is everybody feeling? 7-2. I ended up making a joke yesterday while I was doing my live game reaction, and I ended up saying that I genuinely believe that biologically I am now 47 years old. Right? Like I aged so much during that game last night or yesterday afternoon, rather. Obviously, I ended up leaving with a giant smile on my face. And I mean, I'll be honest with you, 7-2 feels absolutely incredible. It really, really does. We haven't been 7-2, folks, since 2020. What happened in 2020, you might ask? We ended up making it all the way to the AFC Championship. Now, make no mistake here, folks. Some things we certainly want to improve on. Some things we definitely want to improve on. Like defense, for example. Defense was an absolute headache. We ended up seeing like this Tua-led offense absolutely march down the field with a bunch of dink and dunks. We couldn't tackle to save our lives. And I was sitting there on a regular basis saying, oh, dude, listen, this team is finally going to go on ahead and make adjustments defensively and things will be completely fine. But I mean, at the end of the day, we have to go on ahead and just give credit where credit is due. And so the Miami Dolphins truly wanted to go on ahead and win that game and potentially end up saving their season. Unfortunately, it just didn't work out. From the Rock, a.k.a. Rochester, New York, Dan, what is up, homie? Midnight Strikes back in the chat, making it real. We have Buffalo Wings. That 61-yard field goal should boost Bass's confidence. Listen, no one lied to me in this chat. No one lied to me in this chat because I can 110% tell you that no one thought he was going to make that. No one thought that dude was going to make that. I wanted to. I was praying for it. And it sounds like that our prayers were answered at the end of the day. But I mean, I was sitting there absolutely gritting my teeth. Where I was saying, I was like, dude, there's no way. Like, he's about to get ran out of town. He's going to be completely cut like that following morning. And then somehow we see Brandon Beane, Sean McDermott make the decision to ride with Tyler Bass for the rest of the season. And he ends up getting the redemption of all redemption. It is absolutely, absolutely insane. Folks, thank you so much for tuning in, man. We have 158 of you on YouTube, 47 of you on X. Do me a favor, smash that like button if you haven't had an opportunity of doing so. We want at least 200 like buttons smashed prior to the end of this stream. We're just basically doing a Victory Monday celebration, baby. We ended up winning a very ugly game. And I'll tell you what, there's been so many situations, especially for the past couple of years, where we see this Buffalo Bills team go out there and start off ugly. And there was so many times where I've seen a team go out and just not play well. And I'm like, yo, we lost. But this team showed that we can win ugly games. So don't take that away. Yes, for sure. I know that all of us had heart palpitations by the end of everything, if you will. But the Buffalo Bills are 7-2, and things are absolutely insane. Poyer said, once a Bill, always a Bill. Life of Oz came in. And, dude, I mean, it's funny because the entire trajectory of that game was changed. Well, I mean, honestly, in that drive, because if we really wanted to look back and say what truly saved this game from us, because so many things were going wrong for the Buffalo Bills, right? So many things were going wrong. They had that drop touchdown pass from Keon Coleman that ultimately ended up turning into an interception. Josh Allen's second interception of the year, if you will. Then that phantom holding where Josh Allen should have ran that ball into the end zone, which a lot of people were thinking that he would have. And we thought things weren't going well, right? Like we were all sitting at the screen screaming, saying, dude, if we don't see an entirely different team come out of the tunnel at halftime, we're screwed. And listen, we can give a lot of shit right to the defense because they did play like shit, right? They did play like shit. I think all of us can agree there. But the one thing that I do want to say, and the one thing that I feel like each and every single one of us should be celebrating right now, has to do with the fact that we did end up getting a turnover where it mattered most. And that was stopping the Dolphins on their first attempted drive during the second half. Yes, the defense sucked yesterday. Yes, the defense absolutely blew. Okay. But they did end up getting a stop, which was so important for the momentum shift of the game. And while it didn't shift the momentum anywhere toward the defense, because the defense ended up going right back into being completely ass, completely shit at the end of the day, our offense did end up answering the call, and we were moving down the field with absolute ease. So I'm glad. I'm glad that one team specifically, or one unit, ended up catching some momentum and riding it and being consistent when it mattered most. But still, we can go on ahead and we can talk a lot of shit about the Buffalo Bills defense yesterday. And honestly, I think it's deserved for the most part. But make no mistake. Make no mistake. That defense did end up making a play that ended up completely shifting on what is going on. Weirdest game overall, 7 out of 10, but in clutch moments, we were 10 out of 10. Absolutely, man. I mean, like, you look back and you look at that Josh Allen pass, his third touchdown pass was absolutely insane. I really don't even know at this point. Defense has a hard job with Miami. You have Bass saved his job for now. Good for him. I mean, listen, all is forgiven until the next field goal attempt, folks. That's what we're going to have to say. How many yards did our defense give up yesterday? I mean, let's check out the box score, huh? Let's check out the box score. And spoiler alert, wasn't good, because I know that Tua threw for about 230, 240, but let's go on ahead and check this out. Let's go on ahead and look at this real fast. Let's check this bad boy out here. All right. So, yeah, Tua threw for 231 yards, 2 touchdowns. And make no mistake, vast majority of this game plan for both sides of the offense were largely a dink and dunk sort of scheme. You had Achane ran for 63. Okay. And then Tua threw for 231. Let's go ahead and check out total yards. 231 for Tua, and then Achane had 63, 56, 18, 9. Tua ran for 3 at the end of the day. So we can even check out PFF at this point. PFF, Bills, Dolphins. Let's go ahead and check that out. That's how we're going to do it. There it is. All right. So the Dolphins was total yards. Total net yards, 392 for the Dolphins. Bills only had 325. And the Dolphins had a way better EPA per play than we did. And so the Dolphins had a way better EPA per play than we did. About the same offensive plays, 27 for 30. Average yards per play, 6.5, 5.5. Total first downs. Like, basically, like, everybody is sitting here calling Tyler Bass the hero. And I do want to give Tyler Bass some credit at the end of the day, right? Because he ended up answering the call. All right, my friends, even after he ended up missing an extra point, and then he also ended up dinking one in for the extra point as well. But hopefully that's something that's a confidence booster for the young man, because we're going to have to see. This is basically what we're looking at right now. We kill ourselves with penalties on both sides of the ball. Again, with penalties, man, we have been wildly undisciplined for the past couple of weeks. Do the Bills make a trade today? Well, listen, I'll tell you what. So the trade deadline is tomorrow. We're going to have to see. Say that it's anybody, I have a feeling it's going to be Jadeveon Clowney, especially to help us out in run defense. As a Cursed Fins fan, I am surprised we held up at all. We have Cardinals are definitely not going to trade Budda Baker. I mean, listen, especially since the Cardinals have been playing so well. And I want to say that they're first place right now, right? Here, let me double check the standings. But I want to say that the Cardinals are on top of the NFC West division right now. Want to say that they are. Let's go to the NFC. Yeah. And so the Cardinals are on top of the NFC West. So kind of hard for me to see them walk away from one of their best players. But then penalties or refs call for perfect. And so the injuries are killer right now. Coleman and Smoot are both looking to be out. Clowney would cost $10 million next year, right? From what I understand, his salary is not fully guaranteed. So we would have to go on ahead and we would have to restructure some things. Us as Bills Mafia, it's time to stop hating on Tyler Bass. That kid's a human, and we want to win. We have Miller Hendricks. That one time I needed Josh Allen to be daddy and bring change to my Fins, but as usual, blowout wins. We don't get it. 4D chess move by the Buffalo Bills. I was happy to see the Fins out there competing until the second half when I felt the D laid an egg. I mean, listen, we can give a lot of shit right to the overall defense, but at the end of the day, they were the ones that ended up making the game-changing play. Without that turnover at the beginning of the third, who knows if we would have won this game. I thought we did pretty good with penalties, and so the only real one I saw was the Von Miller offsides, and the two holding calls were bogus, and the Taylor Rapp helmet-to-helmet was clearly initiated by Mostert. Oh my God. Need to call out how useless Ed Oliver and Daquan Jones have been this season as far as stopping the run. They have certainly not been good. I'm just surprised this game wasn't 48-0 or something like that by halftime. I mean, listen, and so the Miami Dolphins came out there to play. They certainly did. I don't think Tyrann Mathieu is worth it at this point. He's older, man. He's older. Definitely miss Dwayne Carter. We certainly do. And do you think that we will take any L's the rest of the season? I could see us dropping the game at Detroit, but that's it. Thoughts? I mean, listen, we proved that we can win an ugly game, right? And that's something I needed to see from the Buffalo Bills. I'm definitely not going to count out us dropping two more. I mean, I think 13-4 is certainly realistic. I definitely think 13-4 is realistic. 14-3 would be great. But I mean, I definitely see us dropping one more. It's just, what team is that going to be? Thank God that it wasn't the Miami Dolphins, because could you imagine what I would have had to go through dealing with TD Finns talk on a regular basis? Guys, have another giveaway. That is right. I ended up giving away the Josh Allen rookie card. I am heading over to FedEx after this stream to send it off to the lucky winner. But guess what? I'm giving away this, boys. This is a signed James Cook jersey. A signed James Cook jersey, folks. I'm giving it away to one of you. All right? Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. What you need to do, folks, if you want to be a part of my giveaways throughout the season, I am giving away signed memorabilia each and every single week. This week's giveaway is that James Cook jersey, as you can see behind me. It's completely signed. Absolutely dope. If you want to be a part of my giveaways, folks, you must be a subscriber to the YouTube channel. So say, for example, you're lurking, you're not watching right now. There's 324 of you in here, 249 of you on YouTube, 75 of you on X. I can almost guarantee you probably about, 75 of you are not subscribed. So certainly go on ahead and do that. We want to get to 30,000 subscribers before week 10. That is right. So we have about 6 days away so we can reach our goal right now. So subscribe to the channel if you want to have an opportunity of winning that James Cook jersey, and you must have a free Pristine auction account. Link is in the description for you guys to go on ahead and make that happen. Let's be honest, Dan, with the play calling on defense, and do you honestly believe they can win the Super Bowl? Answer the question. We have Tab account. It's interesting, Tab, because I feel like this Buffalo Bills defense is largely different each and every single week, right? It's largely different each and every single week, which is pretty wild. Like you go from an absolute crazy performance against some pretty high-powered offenses like the Seattle Seahawks, which is a high-powered offense, right? And we hold them to 10 points. But then we also end up seeing an anemic Miami Dolphins type defense, or an anemic Miami Dolphins type offense, where they finally start putting things together into week 9 of the season. It's really hard for me to understand what this defense is or who they are, right? I'm not particularly sure what to expect. I think that it is notable that Bernard probably wasn't at 100%. I think that it was also notable that Vaughn Miller is obviously still a little rusty from being out for a couple of games. I think losing out on Christian Benford not being out there certainly was less than ideal. He's, I would say, the best defensive player we have on this team. He wasn't out there either. Um, it's different, man. It's different. Like, I don't know what defense is going to show up each and every single week. I don't necessarily think that it's play calling. I think that we do a very good job at being able to limit the big play. Of course, outside that massive pass that Tua ended up getting right out to Tyreek. I don't know, man. Um, it just depends on what defense shows up. For the amount of money that Big Baller Bean has spent on defense, they have been a joke. Ed Oliver, 1 tackle, and another 0 tackle game for Daquan Jones. Congratulations, Bills. They won. Question I have is, who do you think played better, Tua or Allen? I know Allen won. I mean, so it was close. And so, to be honest with you, as far as game-changing plays, though, as far as game-changing plays, it was close. And so it was close at the end of the day. But I will tell you what, so that one Josh Allen touchdown pass was absolutely incredible. That D-line won't cut it in the playoffs if you can't sack the quarterback. It's weird. You just don't know what defensive line is going to show up. It gets wildly frustrating. And D was in positions to make plays, but we missed a ton of tackles at 11. And Vaughn's flags turned from a punt to a touchdown. Absolutely. Listen, so many different plays went the wrong way, right? Like, we ended up missing. So that one pass to Keon Coleman literally bounced off of his chest. And he should have caught that. And that would have been a walk-in touchdown. And at the exact same time, with Josh Allen, like, that was not a hold as well. Like, he literally ripped that off for a touchdown 20 yards downfield. That right there was 100% a touchdown as well. It was just weird game, man. It was certainly a weird game. We have red, white, and Bills. We also had 3 touchdowns wiped off the board. Should have been a blowout. Your team should relocate. Joe Riss, you should reposition the Buffalo Bills logo over the Miami Dolphins logo. What's the record now? Like 13-2. Dan, how do you feel about Poyer postgame saying his hit on us was legal, et cetera, et cetera? That was rough, and we all know it. I mean, dude, listen, here's the thing, right? Like, when it comes down into like these NFL refs, when there is any sort of like a deep pass down the line and there's any sort of contact whatsoever, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be called, right? It's just how it is. Okay, Matt Collins has surprisingly been a good addition. Ugh. Kincaid is disappointing, man. We have Jay Maholtra. I mean, hopefully he picks it up, man. Miami was getting it out quick and utilizing a bunch of swing passes. I'm not super worried about the pass rush. I mean, yeah. I mean, like, honestly, like, how fast was Tua getting rid of the ball, right? So I wouldn't even say that it was the defensive line where, like, okay, like, why the hell weren't we getting any pressure? I mean, dude, like, he was literally, like, I mean, so many snaps I was sitting there counting, and he was getting rid of the ball in like 1.1 seconds, right? Is what it is. Let me see. We have Brett. Yeah. So I'll eat my words on Hollins. He has been playing better. So guess you can't say one read Tua anymore. I've never seen Tua read the field like he did yesterday. Glenn, I'm so glad you have your moral victories today, man. Love that. I feel bad for TD, man. Dan, you need to send him a Bills Mafia entry application. Wouldn't that be hysterical? Ray Davis is still my favorite draft pick. Stud. Shout out Ray Davis for stepping up and changing that momentum when we needed him to, man. Shout him out, dude. Shout him out. Dan, Dan, I am happy to inform you because of that game, I am now bald. I am now biologically 47 years old, my friend. All right. I'm pretty sure I had, 7 to 8 heart palpitations at one point, like during the game. It was definitely tough. But listen, Tyler Bass ends up proving that he's that dude. What's up, Dan? What is your take on Keon Coleman? We have JW. I mean, here's my thing, man. He's a rookie, right? He has shown, dude has shown great development. Say, for example, that Poyer didn't end up hitting him that caused that PI. I think Coleman would have caught that football. And so I think he would have caught that football. He's showing a lot of signs of being similar to a receiver like a young AJ Brown as far as his physicality, as far as his ways of winning. His separation has gotten better too, which is solid. I love Keon Coleman, but he's a rookie, right? He's going to make rookie mistakes. It's just what we have to anticipate from the guy. But I mean, dude, listen, so far he's been a great draft pick, and I'm super excited to have him back. I think Allen game doesn't correlate with Kincaid. Matthew C. I think Cooper is going to go off against the Colts. Hopefully he feels better, for the love of God. What's up, Dan? What's going on, bro? Go Bills, my troll brother. Fabian K. What's going on, my dude? How you doing? Who is the Colts wide receiver? Heard Pittman was being traded. I didn't hear any of that. And so I didn't hear anything of that right there. But maybe he is. Maybe he's one of those. Dan, I hope the AFC's roundtable guys come to Buffalo next year. That was so disappointing not to meet y'all. Joseph Norris, listen, man, we really wanted to do it. Like I said, unfortunately, we couldn't do the event because we had the opportunity, or like we wanted to have the opportunity of having all of us sit in the stadium together, right? Like we wanted all of us to sit in the stadium together, but unfortunately we just couldn't get that many tickets. So we kind of figured that it defeated the purpose of like having like the entire event by itself. But we are 100% coming to Buffalo next year. You have my word. Even if we can't sit all together in the stadium, we are going to make it happen and put something out there where each and every single one of you can meet us, because we certainly want to meet you guys. Our run defense is problematic, hoping they can fix that before the playoffs. We have Blair, and Allen rifled that ball. He had to, but it was on him quickly. We have DF Forever. That kick fixed his confidence. That kick just told every player on the team that is struggling that they can turn it around. That kick is going to bring this team to the next level, folks. It's my boy Dwayne in here, man. He's given a motivational speech to anybody going through a hard time, baby. Look at the redemption arc for Tyler Bass. Still waiting for Curtis Samuel to be utilized. Bass screens. I feel like we all are at this point, man. I feel like we all are at this point. Pretty crazy. Dan, 2025 is the last year for Highmark Stadium. Tell you what, man. Last year for Highmark Stadium, we're going to have to do an event. There's absolutely no way that we don't. Dan, and did you see the pick on X where Tua is smiling and happy while Josh is looking at him with a death stare? How do you laugh and smile when losing to your abusive father? Dude, listen, he was locked in. Like Josh was locked in, and I absolutely appreciated it. I still think what's going to end our season is Ed Oliver being a no-show again. Donald Darko in the chat. He's coming on in thinking it's Ed Oliver. He seems to be public enemy number one. I do think it's funny because I think Bills Mafia typically has like weeks or whatnot, like where like we rotate based off of who's at fault, right? Like who is public enemy number one? Was Tyler Bass for a while. Then I think at one point it was Matt Collins. Now I'm starting to see a massive trend of Ed Oliver now being the guy that everybody is screaming at, as into why can't you improve your game? I know people want more from Daniel because he was with Brady, but he was the 1-2 wide receiver there. He's the 5-6 option here. Perhaps that is the case. Absolutely. I will be honest. I used the Tyler ass a couple of times yesterday, but that was the first time I used that phrase. But I won't use it anymore. Go Bills. Shout out to Go Bills in the chat, man. Shout out to Go Bills. Listen, man, I have called Tyler ass a million times, and now he's Tyler Bass to me, right? Like he's not Bassomatic anymore. He's still going to give me anxiety. But damn, that guy stepped up when we needed him most. And his walk-off on the field, give me a damn break. Give me a damn break. His walk-off on the field, man, like, is going to feed families. That overall thing that he can do, man. Wild stuff. Absolutely beautiful. Daquan hasn't done a thing. Okay, we're seeing some people roll in here. We got Carl Tommen coming in saying, I heard a great NN for Ray Davis. Sweet baby Ray. Sweet baby Ray sauce, baby. He's doing his thing, man. Listen, Ray Davis is probably the most impactful rookie we have on this squad right now, even over Keon Coleman, right? Like most consistent, I'd probably say Ray Davis. He's that dude. Ray Davis was a steal for us, man. He really, really was, and I'm so happy about it. Dan, we need to poach the Giants, Sexy Dexy and or Darius Slayton. I don't think we would be able to afford either of those guys, dude. But let's see. How did Coach Weaver like his loaf? Oh, my God. Popey. That 61 yard gave me the biggest adrenaline dump in weeks. I had to go chain smoke cigarettes. I like that. I like that, man. I mean, not for your lungs, but listen, if that's how we cope, if that's how we inject it in our veins, because that was a crazy adrenaline rush. I think that none of us can really make it happen. And so, did you guys see the clip of Titanic song with Bass field goal? Pretty epic. And so I want to play it on here real bad, but I have a feeling that this stream would be demonetized. But I I feel like wow, holy hell, man. Like my smile is still miles wide. And so I love Buffalo tailgates. It would have been so awesome weather and atmosphere yesterday. Dan, someone calculated that kick's distance and it went 67 yards. Talk about big dick Bass pulling out where we needed him to. I think Davis will I think Davis will take over RB1 by the end of the season. I thought that at the beginning. He's been playing very well, man. Listen, so one thing I will say, he is definitely a hell of a lot more reliable when it comes into the pass catching game. He's definitely a hell of a lot more reliable in the pass catching game. And I think each and every single one of us can agree with that. That Ray Davis seems to be that dude. Have to fix our run defense. It was absolutely awful yesterday, but good win. Go Bills. I totally understand. I totally agree with you. It is wildly inconsistent. I don't know what team we are going to see. However, and so I will tell you this, I don't want to sleep on the Dolphins run game because like they have like a three-headed monster, right? So they have HN, they have Mostert, and now they had that rookie Jalen Wright, who was also doing very well. I mean, honestly, we just couldn't tackle, right? Like we just couldn't tackle to save our lives. A lot of the damage we were seeing yesterday were coming from those swing passes, right behind the line of scrimmage. And our guys just couldn't tackle, which is wildly frustrating. People need to start talking more about how so the NFL allowed the Bills to get Keon and Ray Davis in the same draft. Might be the best offensive class we have seen in quite some time. Absolutely love that. Davis definitely needs to take over RB1 roles, runs harder, and doesn't drop the football. We have JTL with a sheesh in here, baby. Come on in. That was money Bass. We need to trade Curtis non-factor as a wide receiver. As much as I would love that, we signed him to like a 3-year deal. So I think he's here to stay. 100%. Cook is a great running back, but he drops way too much. I honestly think all of us can agree that Ray Davis is just a hell of a lot better when it comes into the pass game at the end of the day. Here is the question you need to ask. Did the Bills like almost lose to a 2-6 team because their defense sucks or Miami's offense so good you cannot stop? Miami's defense is bad, but what they say about the Buffalo Bills defense, a win is a win. A win is a win. That's basically what I have to say about that. I mean, listen, like, so each and every single team is going to have off games. And so Miami's run game is very good. And so we just couldn't perform our tackles. Hopefully something that can be fixed. Yo ho ho. T-Bass is my kicker. Absolutely. You love to see that. We have Bella Rose. Best part of the game is watching TD Finn's reaction. Man, he called me at halftime. And I knew that he cursed himself once he ended up calling me at halftime. He was trying to troll me at halftime. He say, "What's wrong, Dan? And so y'all about to lose?" And then I knew that that was the shot heard round the world the second that I ended up seeing that. But shout out Ray Davis. Stats of the game, 90 total yards, 1 touchdown for the guy. I mean, let's see what else that we have right here. Saints announcement. They relieve head coach Dennis Allen of his duties. The Saints are in complete rebuild mode right now, folks. Something to look out for. Bills rookie wide receiver Keon Coleman will have tests done on his wrist today. Stay tuned. Guys, what the hell is going on? What the hell is going on with Buffalo Bills and their wrists this year? It is the year of the wrist. It's the year of the wrist right now, folks. Holy shit. Keon Coleman is literally about... Okay. Morning Bills Mafia. Here are the playoff percentages since 1990 for the teams that started 7-2. Made playoffs 92.3. Won the division 70.2. Won the Super Bowl 13.5. Okay. Coleman took a hard shot on the dirty hit applied by Jordan Poyer during the game win over. All right. Yeah. I mean, let's hope that he's okay. So after week 9, where Bills Mafia, who logs stats Sunday, sit on franchise at the time, and the Bills are the worst in the division of football. The Bills haven't beaten anybody. The Bills just got lucky. Me on Victory Monday. I have watched this Tyler Bass kick an ungodly amount of times. Look at that. Look at that, man. And do you think the Bills trade for a big run stopper before the deadline tomorrow? Grayson Scott's coming on in. And he right now is asking an incredible question. I mean, dude, I don't know. I really don't know. And to be honest with you, like, I'm thinking of a couple of options. And right now, I'm just trying to think of players that we could potentially afford. And I'm thinking of players that like would make an impact in the run stopping. And I'm also thinking about like players that certain teams would walk away from at this point. I think right now, and the only one that makes sense that would be an immediate starter and an immediate impact player, somebody a team would walk away from, and somebody that the Buffalo Bills would implement nicely would be Jadeveon Clowney. I honestly think that Clowney is so the only realistic name that we would end up making, like at this point, right? So I think it's either going to be Clowney or it's going to be nobody. That's kind of where I'm at. And the deadline is tomorrow at 4 p.m. EST. I am going to be live all day tomorrow. I am going to be live all day tomorrow on the channel doing a trade deadline episode at the end of the day. Everyone in here, and so as long-term Bills fans, me over 30 years plus, and are you confident in the Bills winning the Super Bowl, or like me expecting failure considering all the problems we usually encounter? Here's the deal, man. Listen, I am also, and so a Bills fan that has been beaten and bruising. But really, at the end of the day, what I'm doing right now is I am just taking it one game at a time and hoping that we can stay healthy, like once the playoffs come around. Like, see, I feel like comparison is the greatest thief of joy, right? And I'm not going to be looking so far ahead. And the only thing I'm going to be doing is just like setting my focus on the next opponent, right? And I'm hoping that we get hot when we typically do, because this Buffalo Bills team normally gets hot like right around this time in November, especially in December. Show me what this team can do. Make some of these improvements that we're seeing. Let's see. Let's see how it plays out. It's Eidbean really is all in this year. So he would trade both our second round picks for a top tier defensive lineman and another receiver and or his safety. Dan, time to own up to your Broncos pick. I was wrong. What else do you want me to say? I'm 45 years old, homie, and I've been a Bills fan since 0 years old. Absolutely, man. I love that. Sean, what is up with this defense lately? I have no idea, Sean. I have no idea. I really wish I had a good understanding of it, but who knows? We play the Colts next week, and Jonathan Taylor worries too much. I have zero confidence in this run defense to be able to stop Taylor in the run game, and I have little faith in our pass rush, too. Listen, we just don't know what defense is going to pull up, dude, right? So I think we can all agree that Kenneth Walker III is a good running back, right? And so are any of us going to say that Kenneth Walker III is like a shit running back? No. And so we held him to what, like 10, 11 yards? I think it really just depends. And so I think it really just depends on like what team that like we're playing for, right? Because like, listen, so when you go up against the Miami Dolphins, right? Like you have two very good wide receivers on the outside, right? Have Tyreek Hill, you have Jalen Waddle. It's just how it is, right? So we can't really afford to commit to the run against the team like the Miami Dolphins. We just can't. That's why they run against us so well, because we have to account for those two receivers on the outside. They would absolutely kill us. So we had to like make our priorities. And so to do whatever we can do to limit the bleeding from both of those wide receivers on the outside. It's just how it is. And as much as we love shitting on the Miami Dolphins, they have a very talented wide receiver core. They do. Tyreek, Waddle, and then also OBJ was out there making plays, surprisingly enough, right? We can't commit to the run for a team like that. But with the Indianapolis Colts coming up, we can 110% commit to the run. 110%, because we trust our DBs going up against Pittman. And so we trust our DBs going up against Downs. We trust our DBs going up against sort of same thing with AD Mitchell. And the reason we were able to commit to the run against Seattle was due to the fact that they didn't have DK Metcalf out there. So I think it all just depends on the matchup, right? It all just depends on the matchup. Like sometimes, like when you're going up against a team that has like a great wide receiving threat, we're just not going to commit to the run. And like we're just going to put all of our focus into, right? Like those sort of receivers on the outside is what it is. That's just kind of where I'm at right now. So like as frustrating as it was watching this Miami Dolphins team like cut us up like with those swing passes, like running the football, I think the game plan for this defense was literally focusing on both of the wide receivers that were lined up on the outside, honestly. And we were just hoping that this defense could make plays, get a timely turnover, in which that we did at the beginning of the third. It's just how it is, man. It's tough to commit to the run when you have threats like that on the outside. The Bills want teams to run against them. We usually keep teams out of the end zone. We need a defensive tackle. Oliver and Jones have underwhelmed all year. They certainly have. Can Dwayne Carter make it happen? Let's make it happen. San Francisco, Detroit, and Jets are going to be tough, but they are all home games. Let's see. Blair is coming on in. Marcela Herrera is just tuning in. Has Mike Edwards really been traded? Shout out from Guatemala. How you doing, bro? I haven't seen anything about Mike Edwards being traded officially, but I have seen that he's requested a trade. But I haven't seen anything officially at the end of the day. We have Tab Account coming on in saying, and do you watch Locked On Bills? If so, what is your opinion on the show? It is a great show. Solid show. So I'll be completely honest with you. I really don't watch a lot of Bills content because I just make it. And yeah, most definitely. But like with the episodes I have seen from Marino, who is a very smart dude, I mean, listen, he does a great job. Great show, solid stuff. But so I'll be like 100% honest with you guys. I really don't watch like many other Bills creators, and I really don't watch like a lot of other creators in general. I just make content, right? And so I just make content. I don't specifically really watch a lot of it, but from the few shows I have watched from Marino, he does a great job. I am guessing they will activate Eli Ankou one more time then, and will sign him to the active roster and release Zion Lounge. Let me read that again. I'm guessing they will activate Eli Ankou one more time then, will sign him to the active roster and release Zion Lounge. Shout out to the D. We have T-Bone Lex. We don't need Mike Edwards anyway. I mean, listen, as much as I would love to have him on, we're going to have to see. Your answers are solid today. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. We have Allison. Do we tell have Adams I was just asked? Devontae Adams, baby. Let's talk about that. Who is one player, if you had to make a move, that you would be going after right now, and what would you be willing to give up? We have Chris Godwin right here. Great question. I'm not entirely sure if so you want me to like answer realistically, like with so our cap space in mind, or whether or not that you want me to answer like I am Brandon Beane, because Brandon Beane typically is that dude that's super cheap, right? And he loves the cap. He loves his draft capital. I mean, listen, I know this is not a popular answer, but as far as someone that we could afford, that I think that would really help with run defense, specifically off on the edge, and would also help with swing passes as well, would be Jadeveon Clowney. Would probably be the one move that I would be eyeing right now. Love Zadarius Smith, but I saw that Zadarius Smith just ended up getting shipped over to Detroit. I thought he would have been intriguing. I don't know, dude. I don't know. We have RP in the chat coming in. Is anybody else bothered by the fact that you can use Bitcoin? I don't know. Shout out Bitcoin. Midnight, we will get the first seed. Bills Maniac is predicting a Chiefs losing streak. I wonder why McDermott didn't run man coverage versus the Dolphins, since the type of coverage works well against Miami, especially having Elam know for his man coverage capabilities. Maybe he was concerned that Elam would shoot ourselves in the foot. As far as his holding history, not particularly sure there. But yeah, I mean, honestly, man, like when it comes down into the Buffalo Bills defense, I honestly think that like we couldn't commit to the run yesterday. Like we just couldn't do it because of Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. Hence why they were so successful behind that line of scrimmage, behind the whole situation. It's rough. It's rough out here, guys. Let's see. Let's see what's going on here. Okay, we have the Chiefs or the Bucks tonight. I'm 1,000% going with the Chiefs. There's no way that I'd be able to do that. Is anybody else bothered by the fact that you can use? Nope, not me. I fear Bean is content with the team. We should get Cisco and Clowney. I would be fine with Andre Cisco as well, but I do feel like Bean is completely fine with it. So with Tyler H, he runs man coverage and they fail to cover man for man. You'll have two Bills on one man, completely confused. JTL is coming in. Dan, look up JPO was smiling after he hit Keon Coleman. Chris Godwin, could you see us trying for Budda Baker or is being too cheap for that? If so, do you think that would help or hurt Cole Bishop's development? Here's the thing. I wanted Budda Baker a lot, but we have to realize this right now. This Arizona Cardinals team is currently leading the NFC West, right? It would be one thing if the Cardinals were in the basement and they were like 2-6 or 2-7, something like that. I just don't see them being like sellers right now because I think that they have a really good opportunity of winning their division. So I don't think that they're going to be shipping anybody off. I would love Budda Baker. I've been wanting that guy on our squad for a long time, but unfortunately, this Cardinals team is just exceeding expectations. So I don't think he will be on the move. F. Poyer, he's an enemy now, and he tried to hurt our guys in both games. Bills D underperformed. Chiefs losing 2 is all we need. John Snow, what are your thoughts on rushing back Keon? Should we rest him to be safe? Absolutely, especially if Amari Cooper can come out there and play. If Amari Cooper is out there, folks, him and Shakir, and get Dalton Kincaid activated. It's basically how it plays out. We have Matt McKee in the chat saying LFG, Dan. LFG indeed, man. LIK is in the chat. And so how about Aziz and Calais Campbell at Dan? So I'll tell you what, as far as Calais Campbell, I highly doubt that. So one of our rivals in the division is going to trade with us. And then as far as Aziz, I mean, maybe, but like, will the Browns do it twice? That's the question. Kelly Thomas or Alan Cook? I'm still going Kelly Thomas. But it's closer than I want it to be. I'll tell you what. Appreciate it, Dan. Doing my job as a mod. Buffalo Wings, I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. I wonder if Bean is trying to knock down Joe Schoen's door to try to get Dexter Lawrence. As much as I would love Dexter Lawrence, he has a lot of guaranteed money and a lot of guaranteed money that we would not be able to pay him this year. Like, I think his cap hit right now, as far as what we need to pay, would be like something like, shit. I mean, how much would it be? I think it's still like at $12 million and we only have 2. So probably wouldn't be the case. Tyler Bass is no longer Ass. Tyler Ass now has a new nickname. It's just Tyler Bass now. All right. It's not Bassomatic. It's not Money Bass yet, but he has earned the rights to his birth name again. So that was good. We forgive him for a lot of things. I take Campbell. If the Dolphins go full sell mode, if they get rid of Hill, I could see them not really caring about Campbell being in the division, and the Dolphins should stack draft picks at this point. Like, share, subscribe. 29,488 subscribed. Let's get this number to 29,500 this stream. Let's knock it out for Dan. Listen, guys, we need 12 subscribers, man. I'll tell you what, we have 441 of you watching, 324 of you in the chat right now. I am giving away a signed James Cook jersey, folks. All right? Signed James Cook jersey could be yours. It could be yours, folks. All right? What you have to do is simply just be a subscriber to this YouTube channel, and then also do me a favor and make yourself a free Pristine auction account. Link is in the description. I'm doing giveaways each and every single week. I have a Benford jersey I'm going to be giving away. I have a Rousseau jersey. I have a Taron Johnson jersey, a Keon Coleman jersey. I have a Dalton Kincaid rookie card. I'm doing a giveaway each and every single week. I can't wait for you guys to be a part of it, man. Tyler Bob Big Mouth Bass. Look at that. Okay, you need to get a signed Ray Davis jersey. I haven't seen it on Pristine Auction, but you best believe I will be making an investment the second I see it. Let me take a piss real fast, folks. I'll be right back. All right. Bang, bang. All right, all right. What a horrible holding call on Allen TV run. Absolutely, dude. It was absolutely nuts. So make sure you wash your hands. Uncle Bill's Bills, dude. Holy hell, man. Y'all bully me about that, man. Vote. Okay. All right. All right. Smash it like I smashed your table. Pepe is in the chat saying, Yo, Dan, did you see TD screaming like a girl on the Poyer hit? And you need to clip that shit, bro. It was absolutely hilarious. I'm going to have to check it out, really. That 30 plus million dead cap hit from trading Diggs is hurting the Bills' buying power right now. Might be the thing stopping a Super Bowl appearance. Ray Davis seems like the second coming of Fred Jackson so far. Brady should play him more. Wouldn't that be it? What's this? And with Anthony Richardson was visibly tired during last night's game, even though he didn't play a single snap. That's just an absolute troll. That is an absolute troll at the end of the day. Here, hold up. Let's get back into this. Damn it, Dan. Close. Drain the main vein. Always have to, baby. Always have to. Always have to, man. Fred Jackson has no speed, unlike Davis. He's got the speed, man. And listen, I made a couple of takes at the beginning of the season. I said, listen, I think there's a giant opportunity that Ray Davis is going to take over RB1 capabilities. But we're going to have to see. Keep the second string kicker signed to keep Bass in line. If you have to. Massive redemption, Brent. Massive redemption yesterday. I was about to have a heart attack during that one. And when I saw him go out there for a 61-yard, I was just like, oh, my God, bro. Is he really going to do this to us? Is this game about to go into overtime? What's happening? Listen, I feel like there's one more narrative that needs to be killed from the Buffalo Bills, is that Josh Allen just can't get it done in overtime. I mean, I think it would have came down. And so I genuinely think that it would have came down into who had the first possession. And I really hope that it would have been the Buffalo Bills. I'm just glad that it didn't go into overtime. And I'm glad that Tyler Bass ended up just hanging his hog out and showing the world what he could do. Missing Cooper yesterday, you can see the impact to our wide receiver group. Thank God he's going to be out there next week, hopefully. Dan, and there is a 10-minute Pristine auction for a Ray Davis jersey at $12.20. Oh, get in on the action, boys. Get in on the action, man. I would love a good... Hey, hold up. Let me see. What a day. What a day, man. And the Dolphins should have won. This poor guy, Joe Rist. Dude, poor Joe Rist, man. Hey, listen, I got to give it to Joe because, like, he's been, in my streams for, 3-4 years. And, he's been doing whatever he could to manifest a win for the Miami Dolphins, and he's just always wrong. I feel really bad. Bass will miss another critical kick before the end of the season, but he'll kick a 48-yarder to win the Super Bowl and break the Norwood curse. We have JPS coming in. Oh, my God, he's from the future. Hey, Dan, and did you see TD Finstock on the live stream yesterday after Bass kicked the field goal and his own kids walk into his room and tell him that the Dolphins suck? Oh, no. Oh, no, not the kids. We need a running back stuffing defensive tackle ASAP, or otherwise we're going to struggle in the playoffs. What do you think, Dan? Can we sign somebody? As much as I want to say yes, man, I just don't know if Brandon Beane's going to do it. Cook, Jackson, McCoy, Spiller, Thomas, Simpson. Cook, Jackson, McCoy, Spiller, Thomas. Ugh, man. Dude, I'll tell you what. It's Thomas, right? It's definitely Thomas. But then I'm going LaShawn McCoy for his first year with us. His first 2 years were magical. And then Fred Jackson. But McCoy and Jackson are very close. Davis has speed and power. Here we go, Buffalo. Here we go. The Buffalo train is in the damn chat, man. Dude, we are rocking it right now. 416 of you in the chat right now, boys. And let me tell you what. Where it stands right now, we have 29,493 of you subscribed to the channel. We need 7 more. 7 more for 29,500. Let's get this going, guys. We want to crack 30,000 before week 10. Let's do it. I'm giving away that James Cook signed jersey. Don't miss out on this opportunity. I know that you guys can make it happen. Sal, refs got the memo. Keep them in the game. Bills got 2 touchdowns wiped out with a bogus holding call. Absolutely face it. Buffalo owns Miami. FinSpan7. Poyer is part of the Feds. We have Jon Snow. I wanted thicker the kicker, but Bass is thick in my heart. He sure is, Jon Snow. He sure is, my guy. Let's go, Buffalo. Alex Smith. Let me see what else we have. We have Dan, the MF man. It's me, free. I get out next year. Jeff Rose and Jeff Rose saying I'm unsubscribing. What a dick. I'm just kidding, bro. No, in the dojo. How about that Saquon backwards hurdle? Yeah, I know, dude. He's just out there embarrassing teams right now at the end of the day. Hypothetical question. Would you give up the Bills' next 7 years of draft picks for 2 guaranteed Super Bowls, and 1 Super Bowl has to be this year? Okay, hypothetical. So would you give up the Bills' next 7 years of draft picks? Like, so you're saying, so all of our draft picks. It's going to be hard to field a team. It's definitely going to be hard to field a team like with like 0 draft picks. If you meant like we gave up 7 years of a first rounder, then yeah, for sure. I'd do that. And so how do you know if you win the giveaway? Like, do you DM us? Yes, most definitely. I send a DM over to the person who wins prior to the game. And then I also announce the winner during my live play-by-play reaction, which was on Sunday. So yeah. It's basically how you get it done, baby. It's basically how you get it done. We have Adam coming in the chat saying, I watched the Locked On Miami guys say that Poyer should be cut. Davis has made Poyer look slow twice this year. We have Ansley. Dan, how far do you think Bass could have made that? Somebody in the chat said, I'm not sure if this is true, but someone measured it and it went 67 yards. That kick went 67 yards. Or it would have based off that. So the trajectory. He launched that shit. Josh is in the chat. Dan, I'm curious to know how many viewers joined TD's stream. The minute your stream ended, one of them was me to celebrate the W. I'm curious too. We have to ask him. I mean, honestly, I'm going to see how many views he had because he probably saw a lot of views from people just coming in to troll him. But let me see. He had 24,000 views on that episode. He had 24K. A lot of it, I'm assuming, is probably people just walking in there trying to damn, I suppose, troll him. At the end of the day, man, that poor dude. That poor guy. My poor friend TD. Bills maniac. Willis McGahee or Marshawn? Definitely Marshawn Lynch. Definitely Marshawn Lynch. And okay. And so do you think Sam Martin is the kicking problem? Bass was Bassomatic until we changed bunters. I don't know, man. 90% of Miami rushing was after contact. We have to stop the run. That or just make our tackles. I think that's number 1. I pulled up right after the kick. Oh, my God. And living an hour away from Pittsburgh. I was in TD's live stream. I like the way he cries. Oh, my God. Y'all are absolutely terrible. All right, guys, listen. Thank you so much for tuning in to another edition of Dom Mafia Live. This was Victory Monday. A Victory Monday. We were 7-2. We haven't been 7-2 since 2020. Last time we were 7-2, we ended up making it to the AFC Championship. Are the Bills repeating history? Maybe. Love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to another edition Dow Mafia Live. And I'll see you next time.